Today, how to deploy a BPEL process on the server. So BPEL process which we have is expense-sheet BPEL, which is created under application name expense-sheet app and expense-sheet composite as a project. So right click this project, select deploy and select expense-sheet composite, which is the name of your project. So we have two ways to deploy this application on the server. So let's go with deploy to start. Say next and finish. With the help of deploy to start, you can give the jar file of your application to the path. So we'll go to the workspace of JDeveloper. Inside my app, and the name of our application is expense-sheet app. Click the project. Inside that we have the deploy folder, and inside that our jar. So we have to install this jar on the server. Here I just type, here we have our SOA server which have the IP as 192.168.120.134. It's the IP of the machine where your WebLogic admin server as well as SOA server is installed. To access the SOA server, give a port number 7001. So type the username as WebLogic and password as ABCD1234. Say login. After logging successfully, you will see this farm OM11G domain. Select the SOA, expand this, expand SOA infra, expand this default. So right click this default, select the SOA development, select deploy to this partition, and here give the path of the jar file of the application which you want to install on the server. So here I am giving the path of expense-sheet app. So by giving this path and say open, this jar file is added to the server. So let's go with the second option here. So we are coming back again and we'll see the second option, that is deployment on application server. So again I am selecting deploy option, expense-sheet composite and deploy to application server. Say next. Currently you can see our expense-sheet composite is not added here as we are not deployed the application on the server. Once we deploy the application, this application can be listed in this list. Okay, next. Let's create the connection here by connection name. SOA _ expense app. Okay, next here. Username is WebLogic and password is ABCD1234. Okay, next. Here the WebLogic hostname is the IP where the WebLogic admin server is installed. Here we are giving the IP of machine 192.168.120.134, and the WebLogic domain here we are giving as OIM11G_domain. Then next, test connection. So here you can see the status. The status should be success in every condition. So you can see here 9 of 9 tests are successful. So select next. Now here you can see you have completed creating the connection. So our connection is made. Say finish here. Next. So it will search the server lookup. So now here the admin server is found. Say next. This is the deployment summary. Say finish. Here we can see the deployment log. So message deployment finish. So let's go to the server. Refresh the page. So here we can see the expense sheet composite is added. So now we are going to test this BPEL process. Click here text option. So you can see the visual of this BPEL process creation. So we are giving the parameters here. As a requester, Amar Patil. It is the user in repository for which we are testing the workflow. So amount we are giving as 7,000. The date is in the form of YYMMDD. So we are going to give this. So I am selecting this date. And purpose is internet. All these values I am adding for showing the functionality. It is for the demo purpose. And say test service. So now this payload consists of the result. It is of type string and this is giving us the request submitted successfully with ECID is equal to this. So I am copying the ECID of this. You can see the test status here, request status, that is request successfully received. So click launch flow trace here. So you can see here the state is in the running because the request is not approved or rejected by the human task. So we'll go to the expense sheet BPEL where you can see the data which is filled by the requester. So first is the received input, expand the payload. Here you can see the entries which we have made, that is the requester name Amar Patil 21, amount 7,000, date and purpose. After that we'll give the date as a 20th here. So here date status is okay as it all checked by our Java code. So here you can see the email is sent to SDC as employee expense reimbursement request for Amar Patil 21 and body as hi employee expense reimbursement request submitted for the username. After that, this payload consists of the employee manager details, that is the subject employee expense approval for Amar Patil 21, and content body is which we made in our BPEL process. So likewise our BPEL process is executed. So here you can see the request is pending status because it is not approved or rejected by the human task. So we'll go to BPM workflow where we can approve or reject this task. So select the human task here. Here go to worklist application. Give the username as WebLogic and password as ABCD1234. Click login. So you can see here the name of our project as expense sheet composite. So select that, go in action and approve it. So it gives us the informative window as your request was processed successfully. Click OK. Now again go to launch flow test. So now this is the request ID, instance ID. So here you can say the state is completed earlier which was in the running state. So now select this expense sheet BPEL. The input entries which we made is as this. Here the date is 20, therefore the switch case is selected of the string OK. So you can see first of all it goes to approve and then selected the string OK. And at last it sends the email as you will receive expense amount in current salary cycle to the requester by the SDC finance. And after that final reply output you can see here as payment process in this month and instance ID is this. So it is in completed status. Now we have the instance ID 90118 with us with this BPEL process. Now we'll search this BPEL process with the ECID which we have. So we'll paste this ECID here and say search. Here this gives us the 90188 which was our current BPEL process instance ID. So in this way you can deploy your BPEL process on the SOA server. So how to call this BPEL process from the user interface, we will see this in the next session.